So my name's Kerry Ellis-Williams. I'm here to share the story of my husband, who was diagnosed with cardiac sarcoidosis only in January 2019, and as a result of that, ended up needed to have a heart transplant. It was completely unexpected. We were literally enjoying our holiday at the Natal South Coast in December 2019, and his sports watch started alerting him to the fact that he had an abnormal high heart rate. So we thought, well, maybe it's end-of-year fatigue, he's a bit run down and whatever. But when we came back to Joburg, he went and saw a cardiologist, and Dr. Sender did an ECG on him and ran some blood tests. So he was admitted into Fibre Clinic the next day, where they did a barrage of tests and x-rays and scans and everything that they could to try and get to the bottom of this. But then when they did an angiogram, they found that there was no blocking or narrowing of his heart vessels, which showed that he didn't have any heart disease as such. So eventually they arrived at the point where he had been diagnosed with a rare inflammatory disease called cardiac sarcoidosis. And what this does is that it basically inflames all the muscles in the heart and compromises the functioning of it. So over an 8-month period, obviously as South Africa got locked down with COVID, he went through a barrage of tests and most horrific medications to try and manage all his side effects. And on a routine checkup in September last year, he'd been feeling a bit nauseous, a bit clammy, out of breath, and his pulmonologist admitted him directly into hospital that minute. So they managed to stabilize him at Fibre Clinic, and I mean, I was absolutely terrified, because you don't know what's going to happen from one minute to the next, and how would I be able to tell our children about that? His blood pressure crashed in October, and they had to put him on what's called ECMO, which is basically a pump that takes the blood out of the body, reoxygenates it and puts it back in the body to give the lungs and the heart a bit of a rest. And then there was a long road with physio, bio and OT trying to obviously build his strength up. And eventually, after 158 days in hospital, he was discharged and he came home to us. But sadly, it wasn't going to be for long. He was only home with us for a month before he had to be readmitted into hospital. And he unfortunately just had so many complications and infections in his body that on the 16th of June this year, his blood pressure crashed, and there was nothing more that the doctors could do. My honest belief, and it's obviously not something I considered until our family was in this position, is that we take nothing from this world with us. Absolutely nothing. Our organs, our blood, once we are deceased, what can be done with it? So if you become an organ donor, you have the chance to save up to 7 people's lives and help another 50. So just like Vuma has started these incredible conversations and raised awareness about donation, I really want to implore every corporate, every single citizen, every school to start having these conversations and to start mobilizing South Africa. There's a 75% decrease in transplants that are happening because of COVID. And it's only by us making the choice and being brave enough to commit to being an organ donor, a blood donor, a stem cell donor, that we can actually make a difference.